Hi, this is Susie Wright with Tumbleweed Glass Studio. We've taken our most popular tutorial, how to wire wrap a cabochon, and put it on video for you. We're going to be reviewing the tools that you're going to be needing. This is our Value Series pliers set. We'll go over each tool individually. These are chain nose pliers. Mechanics will often call them needle nose pliers, but there is a major difference. Jewelers' chain nose pliers have a very smooth jaw. You don't want anything with a ribbed jaw. All jewelers' pliers should have a smooth jaw. These are flat nose pliers, which you can see with the flat nose at the front. Round nose pliers have a conical jaw, and you'll mainly use them for chain and also for loops. One of the tools you'll be using a lot are your wire cutters. These have a nice strong jaw that will give you a relatively smooth edge. Any roughness you can always deal with filing or with a cup burr. Here's a list of a few other tools that you'll be needing. You can find most of them around the house or adapt something you already have. The materials list here is for exactly what I used in this project, but feel free to change the gauge or the material. Sterling silver can often be changed for argentium silver, which is a tarnish resistant alternative, and copper makes a very nice practice wire, and will also make some very handsome pendants for you. To determine the length of wire, you will need to use low-tack tape, either painter's or masking tape, cut to 1/4 inch wide. Use a strip of this tape across the face of the cab to mark the top, center, and bottom. Use a measuring tape to get an accurate center mark. Starting at the center top, leaving a tail, wrap tape around the edge of the cab until you slightly overlap the other end. That will be your circumference. Cut the tape and leave it on the stone. At this time, decide where you want your side wraps and mark the tape. Here I will make 5 wraps around the bundle. Mark the bottom center of the tape as a reference. I usually mark the center with an X or an arrow, and the remaining wire wraps with broad marks showing location and the width of the wraps. Remove the tape by cutting through the overlap at the top center of the stone. Stick the tape to your work surface for reference. Measure the length of the tape and add a minimum of 4 inches. Here I've added 5 inches. This will be the length of wires you need for the wire bezel. Cut as many wires as you need to equal the thickness of the cab plus 2 more wires. In this case, since the cab has a thin edge, I'm using 5 wires. Straighten the wires carefully by drawing the wire between your thumb and fingers, using a rouge pad to clean as you straighten. Lay the wires next to each other in a flat bundle and temporarily wrap the end of the wires with telephone wire. If you don't have telephone wire, use your blue tape. Find the middle of the bundle and using your marked measuring tape, find and match the middle marks. Use the tape to mark the bundle for the wrap wires. Mark the beginning and end of the tape on the bundle. If your design does not include wraps at the top of the pendant, tape the wires just beside the end marks of each side. You may also wish to tape or put a temporary wrap between wrapping marks. It often helps to make wrapping easier. You'll remove the tapes before you form the bail. Starting at the middle wrap mark, wrap your bundles using half round wire. Take 3 to 4 inches of wrap wire and form a U-bend on the thinnest part of your flat nose pliers. The short tail end should be slightly off at an angle. Place the wrap wire over the border wires with the angle on the inside. Make sure the long wire is perpendicular to the border wires and then bend the long wire to the back. Lightly squeeze it in place. Now turn your work and wrap the wire to the front next to the previous wrap and lock in place. Your wires should stay perpendicular on the front. Make your wraps firm but movable in case you need to make final adjustments. Make sure all the cut ends are on the same side, the inside of the pendant. I've used 5 wraps for the bottom wrap and 3 in every other wrap. Adjust the wraps to the proper locations. One way to make sure they are an equal distance is to cut your masking tape and use it as a guide. Mark above and below where you want the wraps with the Sharpie so that you can go back and adjust as needed later. Remove any tape or temporary wraps between where the wraps will be placed. Shape your bundle to match the cabochon. A ring mandrel or other rounded items such as a dowel or a pill bottle will help for curved cabochons. Square or angular cabs may require pliers or square forms. Make sure the middle marks are in the middle, as it's easy to get off this mark. Use equal and firm pressure to keep the wires straight and true. Check the fit to the cabochon and make adjustments. You are now ready to make your first locking turns. These are the turns that come over the front and back of the stone. Taking a small knife, spread the wires. Spread just enough to allow you to grab the individual wires. The photo shows the proper amount of spread. Using your flat nose pliers, grab the back wire next to the bottom center wrap and twist towards the center to form the locking wire. Now do the same on the front wire. Check the fit with the cabochon in place and make any adjustments to the next side wraps. Remove the cab and then form your side locking wires in the same manner. Do one side front and then the other side front. Then turn to the back and do the back wires in place. Continue till you finish all the turns at the wraps. Next we will center the stone in the wrap. The cabochon must be in place, snug up against the setting around the sides and the top of the cabochon. Crisscross the wire, centering the stone top and bottom. If you were careful, you should have the top wraps meeting at the center. If not, adjust any wire wraps to do so. Estimate where each wire bundle will cross the center line if wrapped tightly. Mark each bundle where it would touch the center line. Gently bend each side up at that mark using your flat nose pliers, keeping the wires straight and even. Check the fit, and when you're satisfied, use telephone wire or blue tape to temporarily wrap the bail wires together, making sure they are parallel. Take about 5 inches of the 16 gauge half round and using your flat nose pliers, move up the jaw of the pliers until the depth of one side of the jaw is the thickness of 2 wire bundles just above the cabochon. Make a U-bend in the wire. The short end should be slightly angled to allow for an even straight wrap around the bail. Start the wrap with the short end facing the back of the cabochon and make 2 complete wraps ending with the long end of the wire also pointing toward the back of the cabochon. Do not cut the wrapping wire at this time. Remove the temporary wires and separate the front wire from each side of the bundle from the remaining wires. These front 2 wires will be used to make the bail, so leave them upright. Using your pocket knife, separate the 2 wire bundles and spread them apart out of the way, forming a wide V. Using a dowel or your round nose pliers, form the front wires into an inverted U with the end wires laying snugly along the back wires of the bail wrap and the back of the stone. Straighten the V wire straight up against the bail. With the long end of the 16 gauge wire, continue the wrap, capturing each side bundle and the bail. Wrap at least 2 full times, ending with the wire facing the back of the pendant. Finish the bail by trimming the end wires flush and tucking the back bail wires underneath the bail. Use the remaining wires to decorate your pendant. Here I've gently bent each bundle as a unit over the face of the stone. I spread them out and then using round nose pliers curl each under so it will not catch on the clothing. This is where you can get creative with what to do with these wires. Have fun there. Here's my completed piece. Hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Visit us at Tumbleweed Glass Studio for more.